What would you do if the woman you loved, the mother of your children, secretly wrote a will leaving everything to another man? I never thought I would face such a betrayal, not from Sarah, my wife of 15 years. The night everything broke was a Tuesday. 2 a.m., the glow of her phone screen illuminating her face as she typed furiously. A name I didn't recognize flashing across the top of the message thread. My heart hammered against my ribs, a cold dread seeping into my bones. She was smiling, a soft, intimate smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. I pretended to be asleep, but my world had just shattered into a million pieces. And I knew with chilling certainty that my life would never be the same. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a tidal wave of nausea. Sarah, my beautiful, intelligent Sarah, was cheating. The signs once invisible now screamed at me. The late nights, the sudden interest in her appearance, the guarded phone calls. I dismissed them as stress, as a new phase, as anything but infidelity. I was a fool. The man on her phone, Mark, was not just a colleague, he was her lover. The discovery wasn't a sudden explosion, but a slow, agonizing burn. I started noticing the small things. A receipt for a lavish dinner at the Ivy in Los Angeles. A place she claimed she went with her girlfriends, but the date matched a business trip she took alone. Then came the phone calls, hushed whispers in the pantry, her eyes darting nervously when I entered the room. She became a ghost in our home, physically present but emotionally miles away, her touch cold, her words clipped. The transformation in Sarah was chilling. She grew arrogant, dismissive of my feelings, manipulative in her excuses. She'd gaslight me, twisting my observations into accusations of paranoia. "You're imagining things, David? You're stressed," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern, while her eyes held a calculating glint. Mark, the affair partner, was a smug, entitled prick I'd seen once at a company picnic. He'd look at me with a knowing smirk, a silent challenge in his eyes, as if he already owned my life. They felt untouchable, basking in their secret world, while I withered. I remember one night, sitting alone in our living room in Dallas, the city lights blurring outside the window. A glass of untouched whiskey in my hand. I felt utterly broken, hollowed out. The man I was, the life I built, it was all a lie. But in that abyss of despair, a cold, hard resolve began to form. I wouldn't just leave. I would dismantle her world, piece by agonizing piece. My revenge began subtly. I started gathering proof, meticulously. I installed discreet cameras in the house, not to catch them in the act, but to document her late-night calls, her secretive behavior, her emotional distance. I hired a private investigator, a quiet man named Frank, who provided irrefutable evidence. Photos of Sarah and Mark at a secluded Airbnb in Miami. Hotel receipts, even recordings of their conversations. The will, however, was the ultimate dagger. I found it hidden in a safe deposit box she thought only she knew about. A document explicitly stating that in the event of her death, all her assets, including her share of our joint property, would go to Mark. Not our children, our children. The sheer audacity, the callous disregard for our family, fueled a fire in me I didn't know existed. With the evidence secured, I began setting my traps. Legally, I consulted with the sharpest divorce attorney in New York City, a woman known for her ruthless efficiency. Socially, I started planting seeds of doubt among our mutual friends. Subtle hints about Sarah's stress and unusual behavior. I ensured that when the truth exploded, no one would be surprised, only disgusted. I meticulously documented every financial transaction, every gift she bought Mark, every penny she siphoned from our joint accounts. The public exposure was orchestrated with surgical precision. I chose a day, a specific event, our annual charity gala. A high-profile event in Chicago where Sarah was being honored for her philanthropic work. As she stood on stage, basking in the applause, I had Frank discreetly distribute a folder to every major media outlet and influential guest present. The folder contained everything: the photos, the hotel receipts, the transcripts of her calls, and a copy of the will. The murmurs started, then gasps, and a stunned silence, as the projector screen behind her, meant to display her achievements, suddenly showed a montage of her and Mark, intimate and undeniable. Her face, once radiant, crumpled into a mask of horror. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sarah was stripped of her awards, her reputation in tatters. The divorce proceedings were brutal. With the will as irrefutable proof of her intent to defraud our children, the judge awarded me full custody and a significant portion of her assets, citing her moral turpitude and financial misconduct. Mark, exposed and humiliated, was fired from his job and vanished, leaving Sarah to face the consequences alone. Her social circle evaporated, her career was destroyed, and the life she had so carelessly built on lies crumbled around her. She tried to fight, to deny, to manipulate, but the evidence was overwhelming. There was no escape. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in Los Angeles, a shadow of her former self. Her clothes were disheveled, her eyes vacant. She didn't see me, and I didn't approach. There was no triumph, no joy, just a profound, chilling emptiness. The silence in my house now is deafening, a constant reminder of what was lost and what was irrevocably broken. The end.